Alright guys, and we are back, episode 2, made on Ridgeway Sports Podcast. Hunter Keister, co-hosted with
K. Mac.
Yes sir, back in the building, episode number 2. Another week of our weekly sports podcast. Coming at you guys Friday night. You guys can see this Saturday morning, as that is our target goal for every week, is Saturday morning. So come back whenever you guys see this every Saturday and tune in with us as we talk about the week in sports. This week we got a good show for you guys. Gonna start it out with what would you say, Kurt? A sigh of a breath of fresh air.
Relief, baby.
Relief from the Michigan
Harbs
faithful.
is back. Harbs is back.
Harbaugh, in a shocking turn, especially towards the end, ends up not aligning with Minnesota and decides to come back to Michigan, and also has publicly stated to Ward Manuel this will not happen again, and this was his last time at the NFL, meaning that he is Michigan coach until Michigan doesn't want him, which I think is huge for the program. I think recruiting, it dropped from 8 to 9 yesterday. Our only big loss was Henry, a defensive lineman who we knew we were going to lose because we recruited Derek Moore. So you're not really the maddest to lose him. Still would have liked him, but to end up with the top 9 recruiting class, win the Big Ten, you beat Ohio State, and now to start off the off season, you get your head coach back. That's huge. Now it's finding a defensive coordinator is the next on the Michigan list. As I said that Cleanstale and Elston should co-DC. Kurt really doesn't look into that as much as I do, but with Osborne's departure to Baltimore, you see that, Kurt? Another Michigan man goes to Kurt's.
Wait, what? Who?
Ryan Osborne was a defensive assistant who was in the running to be Michigan's defensive line coach, and he is now the Baltimore Ravens defensive line coach.
Yeah, I had no clue that the assistants went to Baltimore, but get back on track with the return of Harbaugh, the big sigh of relief. Honestly, if we didn't get him back, I for sure thought we'd have been in trouble this year, for sure.
Yeah, with them already with Harbaugh in the public eye seeming to drag his feet, with it now being acknowledged that there was just some kind of hold up in the NFL process and like what he was able to do. So, that's what I was getting really mad at. I was like, okay, Harbaugh, you do what you want to do, but you are putting us in a really bad spot the longer you wait and drag us into this process with you. Like, if you want to go there, you go there, but you gotta let us know. Like, we need to start looking again. Because losing Mike McDonald was big enough, and then now to lose Harbaugh in the same offseason would have been a lot to replace with little time. So, big sigh of relief there. I like Harbaugh's last choice at DC, so I hope he picks somebody.
I know we'll be solid on defense.
Yeah.
We've always had a good defense with him being there. Except for 2020, but that was an exception.
Yep, this offense could be electric too, but I'm sure we'll talk about them some more as I'm going to get jumping into our next topic, and that will be the NFL Championship round playoff. We're going to do a little bit of a review, just a little brief recap of them, starting with the AFC side, as I'll let Kurt give his thoughts on the Chiefs and the Bengals.
Yep, here we go. I got a lot to say about this one. All right, first off, first half, the Chiefs were handling Cincinnati. I was so set, and I was like, oh yeah, they're winning this game. First half, Patrick Mahomes was on the money. Cincinnati couldn't handle it. Their offense couldn't do squat. But here's where things switched. This is where all momentum switched sides. At the end of the first half, Kansas City botched a huge opportunity. 21-10. They had the ball at first and goal, 10-yard line with about 30-ish seconds. And when they literally milked the clock because they were so worried about they managed that situation so poorly to the point where it went down to 3rd and goal. Mahomes went to the flats with Tyreek Hill, and they didn't score anything.
Yep.
5 seconds left. Take the points. You get the ball to come out of the half. It's 24-10. You're up 2 scores, and you hit the ball come out of the half.
Well,
like
the
I just
Bengals
said.
have the ball. The Bengals have the ball at halftime, right?
What's that?
The Bengals have the ball at halftime.
No, to open up the second half.
Yeah, the Bengals.
And I'm saying at the end of the first half, the Chiefs could have put up more points.
Oh, to help them into the.
That was huge because it literally since he stopped them from scoring at all.
I think that momentum of not giving up points and then getting the ball right out of the locker
Cincinnati
room,
felt confident.
I think that saved them because I think they give up 3 there. It's probably like their shoulders are down. They're like, oh, we're down a couple of scores now. All the life is out of Cincinnati, stadium-wise too. There
and essentially from that point on, since it was 21-3, the Bengals scored 24 points almost unanswered. Yeah, they did. Because it was 3-21. They ended up getting to... It was 24-24 all. And
the
then
Chiefs didn't score any in the second half.
They kicked 1 field goal, and that was at the end of the second half to get to overtime.
So they scored 3 points in.
Yep. So Cincinnati's defense, Mahomes choked second half.
Yeah.
Mahomes
Eli
choked.
Apple was getting burnt to a crisp, but somehow they made it work. Hats off to him. Hats off to Joe Burrow for making, in his second year, the best run I've seen out of a sophomore player with Jamar Chase. His emergence in the preseason. I drafted him in fantasy, and everybody tried telling me that he was going to be a bust because he was having all them preseason problems, and I knew he was different, and he cemented himself as what could be a top 10 receiver really fast here as they get ready to take on the Rams. Kurt, did you have anything else you wanted to add to the Chiefs and Bengals?
Well, essentially, Chiefs choked. Mahomes choked second half. I think he 60 yards passing in second half. They got after him. He kept running around trying to get something, and honestly, they were just holding him down and getting in his face. And honestly, the Chiefs, they screwed it up. Blew a lead. And Joe Burrow just kept extending on third downs, getting first downs with his legs, broke a couple sacks, and the Bengals put it off, like you said last week, 27-24, game-winning field goal, and they did it.
Man, isn't that crazy?
Literally.
With the prediction. From my side, I thought that the Bengals did the best they could. I mean, they got their perfect scenario, like I mentioned last week. I felt that in the first half, Patrick Mahomes let them have it, and they really could do no to stop it. And then as they went to the locker room with all the momentum in the world, as Kurt mentioned, you have to take 3 there. That's just a cocky play by Andy Reid, and I'm sure it haunts him right now because, in my opinion, they take their chip shot field goal, they win that football game. I think it's as simple as that. So I think that's
because then, most likely, instead of kicking that field goal at the end of the game to tie it, they kicked that field goal to win it.
Right.
Because it was 21-24 when the Bengals went up with about two-ish minutes left. And then they drove down. And the crazy thing is, Kansas City got it to first and goal, and they ended up having to kick a 40-yard field goal because Mahomes kept running around, trying to do too much. And so they could have got a touchdown to potentially win it, but they were trying to waste the clock enough to where the Bengals want to get the ball back with enough time to score. So the Chiefs just mishandled a lot of opportunities in the red zone. And so Bengals capitalized. They got Eli Apple actually almost got a game-winning pick 6 in overtime, but he dropped it.
Oh yeah, that was a miserable drop. I remember.
Yeah, he read that all the way. It was a slant route.
All 3 or 4 of us who were watching the game, we all stood up and just kind of sighed.
Yep, Chiefs got the ball first somehow again, and quick 3 and out. But on that third down slant, Eli Apple was pick 6 written all over it. Then the Bengals get the ball back. Drive down. Actually, they didn't have to drive down because they got an interception off of Mahomes. He passed it to Tyreek Hill. Jesse Bates slapped it up and then whoop, caught it. And then that was a GG.
What a game for Cincinnati. What a, happy for them. 31 years without a playoff victory or a championship. Something.
Yeah, I mean, it was
championship, I want to say, without an AFC championship win. Maybe it was like that. I think that's what it was. Anyway, hats off to Joe Burrow and the Chiefs. I will now start on to the NFC Championship game where we saw the Rams take on the Niners. Kurt, we both predicted the Rams to win this one, right?
Yes.
And Kurt's prediction being spot on by off by 1 point. He predicted 2017 and it was 21. Or
No.
You predicted 21.
I predicted 21-17. The game was 2017.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, I said, because you asked how do you think it goes down, I said the Niners would have the ball last and Jimmy G wouldn't get it down the field. And what do you know? He throws an interception to lose it.
In his last game, publicly already talking to John Lynch about wanting a trade. I think I'll talk about them, and then maybe we'll get into Jimmy G in a later video. We'll save him for some more offseason stuff. But as I get into this game that he played, his last with the Niners, presumably, I think that he just proved that he can always get them there, but he just didn't really ever have it enough to me to get it done past getting them there. And I think that showed again with a primetime opportunity, like we just said, ball in your hands, game on the line, you go win this game for your team.
They had the lead, 20-10 for a lot of the game. They were in the lead.
Yeah.
And then the Rams came back.
Yep.
And pulled it off.
Stafford played
not 20-10, but it was 17-3 at one point.
Yeah, I'd say Stafford played a pretty decent game. Got it done. Their defense stepped up when they needed to.
Odell, we haven't talked about him yet.
Stifled the run, but if there's a bright spot in the Rams for sure, it was definitely Odell. He went off. Cooper Kupp is going to be a top 3 receiver.
And so the Rams went on to win it, come back, and just a crazy game, honestly. The Niners had the game mostly in control for most of it, and the fourth quarter came and kind of just screwed it up, honestly.
Yep.
But so we were right with that, and so the Rams went on, and now they're gonna play at home in the Super Bowl. So back-to-back Super Bowl home games. Tampa made it last year, and it was in Tampa, and the Rams made it this year, and it's in LA. So
that's crazy.
That'll be next weekend, and I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about them some more in the next week's episode, as that'll be most of our coverage with the game being on Sunday. So we'll save the Super Bowl talk for next week.
100%.
And before we get into the next topic, which is going to be the Michigan and Purdue game, I will quickly talk about, because I don't believe you watched the game, right? Michigan-Nebraska.
I didn't watch it, no.
So I really didn't watch much of it neither. I followed it for most of the night, but then I ended up falling asleep. Michigan narrowly escapes Nebraska, beating them by 6 points. Nebraska is statistically the worst team in the Big Ten. Michigan can't beat anybody, good or bad. Barely beating the worst team is just unbelievable to me. 85-79 as I pull up some stats. Another one that sticks out to me, Jones, 32 minutes, 18 points, 7 of 16 from the field. So we talk about him like playing a lot, right? And how I keep saying I want Frankie Collins to play. Collins, 6 minutes, 3 points, 0 of 2 from the field, 3 of 4 from free throw. Hunter Dickinson, he actually played very well. 23 minutes, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 10 of 15 from the field. Eli Brooks goes 6 of 11, so not the best, not the worst. Diaboti's got to score more than 6 points. Need more to him. Houston, I don't even know how to say his name. 35 minutes, 6 points. He's been really underwhelming as one of Michigan's highest rated prospects. Has been pretty much a dud. Brandon Downs plays 20 minutes again, only scores 3 points.
Just a bench player.
He would stay on the bench where he belongs.
Just a bench player.
Nobody could really score besides Dickinson, and he pretty much carried them to a narrow win over Nebraska. So, tough game for Michigan, I guess. And as we end off this episode, we will talk about Michigan versus Purdue. Purdue is ranked, I believe, fourth.
That's what I saw the other day.
Yep, Purdue is ranked fourth in the country. Michigan can barely beat anybody. Purdue is 19-3. They beat an Ohio State team.
19-3.
They're 19-3. Wow. Their last game they beat Minnesota 88-73. They beat Ohio State a few games back on a game-winning field goal. Game-winning
shot.
Game-winning field goal.
Technically.
Game-winning three-point field goal. 81-78. So they got some big wins. They They beat them by 8. Illinois, who's been also very good. And to put them in perspective, they beat Nebraska, who we beat by 6. They beat them 92-85 or 92-65.
Wow, cremated. Well, anything can happen, but just from how the season's been, it looks like it's not too promising tomorrow, huh?
With the way this Michigan team is playing,
just offensively limited.
Yeah,
and
we're playing pretty well defensively from what I've seen, but the offense we can't make shots. We're getting terrible guard play, and I still go back to Howard. I think you need to just redo the rotation. I mean, you're almost losing games you should never even almost be in contest with. I mean, I know any game can, anybody can win, but come on, let's be real for a second here. We're Michigan, they're Nebraska, they're bottom feeders of this Big Ten conference, and frankly, we just escaped them. So I expect nothing less than a 10-point loss unless Michigan finally comes.
I hope we just stay in the fight.
Yeah. Hopefully they can keep this game, because I'm worried that we could definitely be. I could definitely be turning this game off tomorrow by halftime.
Could be another Michigan second half whooping.
Yeah. Hope the Michigan stay in it. Who knows? You got to get better play from where your guards are. They can't play that bad. Dickinson finally played a pretty good game against Nebraska, but Purdue has some really good big men, always have, and
always
they're
solid.
They're gonna be a real test for Dickinson, who just flat out looks to me like
gotta hit open shots too, man. Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, Dickinson looks like he doesn't want to be down low, and he's gonna have to be physical if we're gonna beat Purdue. And like you said, the open shots, you just gotta hit those.
For a chance to win, just gotta play good defense, hit open shots, and limit the turnovers. Last week's game, that's what it was, really. A lot of dumb turnovers. Just couldn't hit open shots, and
you're not going to win basketball.
You're not going to win anything if you can't take care of those things.
Yep.
And they were hitting good shots, so I don't know how tomorrow's going to go, but we're going to watch it, right? Yeah?
You want to come
Okay, I'll be here. Yeah, we can watch it for sure. Probably won't be good, but got to.
Yep.
Got to.
It's the only sports you're gonna get, and for two Michigan lovers right like this, we're gonna be all over that shit, even if they're getting beat by 40. We'll find some enjoyment of it. Hopefully Michigan can keep it a game. But as we start to close this one out, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to our YouTube, like our Facebook, whatever you are listening this to, as we are quickly onto Apple Podcast and Spotify today, as well as a plethora of other, thanks to Buzzsprout. Not sponsored, just
not sponsored.
A great program.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. So we are expanding. We have a Facebook page. I will have all of our links down in the description. But as we close this one out, that'll be it. Kurt, you got any final things to say?
No, I think we hit base with everything. For sure.
Should be a exciting week of sports. We will catch you guys next time. And from Made On Ridgeway Sports Podcast, we will see you guys next week. See ya.
Deuces.